Okay, moving down to our fourth function. Oh, actually, let's move. This should be else if, not else of. Else if. Okay, moving down to our fourth function, which is the winner function. This is where we test the possibilities, all the different outcomes, and determine the winner. So this is actually a void function. Void winner. And it's going to accept two variables. One being the user equivalent and the second being the computer equivalent. And dummy 2. Okay, let's get this out of the way. So essentially we're testing for three possibilities. Either we beat the computer, we didn't beat the computer, or it's a draw. So I'm going to write down all the different possibilities for the user beating the computer, and then writing down the possibilities for the computer beating the user, and then the third we'll just say it's been a draw. So I'll go ahead and speed that up because this is a long process. Okay, now I've got this. So basically these are all of the conditions where the user would beat the computer. Moving down to the next, or we're actually going to want to, so if any of these are true, we want to say congrats, you beat the computer. Moving down, it's going to be a similar format, just different conditions. Okay, so those are all the conditions where the user loses, so the computer wins. And if any of these are true, we want to see out darn, you were beaten by you're beaten by the computer. And if neither of those are true, then it must be a draw, because there's only three possibilities in this game. And we're going to want to say see out draw. Make sure we get this brace here. Okay, and that is the winner function. Now that we have all of our functions completely coded and they perform the nested calculations that we want, we're going to move back up to main. And when we move back up to main, this is where we are going to hold all of our function calls. So I'll go ahead and show you what we want to do for those. The first function call is going to be equal to the comp choice variable. So whatever gets returned in this function call will be stored in this variable. That's what you want to happen. So we're going to call the numGenerator function. These are our function calls. Okay. And so like I said, the comp choice the variable that'll hold the return result of the random number generated by the computer. And the second function call that we're going to implement is the user. We're going to store the variable, we're going to store the result of calling choice converter and user choice is what we're going to pass to that function. So when that function is called, it will be stored, and the integer that's converted will be stored in user equiv. Semicolon here. Third one, we don't need a variable here. We're just going to call the function with the necessary arguments. And we're going to pass comp choice for that. And the last one, we're going to call the winner function to determine the winner. This will be our last step. Say comp choice and user equiv. So we want to make sure that we're calling them in this very order because the variables are being updated in real time, so make sure you have that order. And those are our function calls. So now that we have all of this completed, we're going to go ahead and try to run the function, or we're going to try to run the program. So say escape, WQ, we're going to compile rps.cpp. Looks like we've got a couple of errors. Okay, looks like no errors. For the compiler's part, let's see if we can run this. Okay, please enter your choice of rock, paper, or scissors. So let's say we want rock. You chose rock. The computer also chose rock. Therefore, it is a draw. Looks like it worked on that. Let's try paper now. Say we choose paper. You chose paper. The computer chose scissors. And because scissors beats paper, you're beaten by the computer. And let's try one more time with scissors. Okay. Scissors. Okay, you chose scissors, the computer chose paper. Scissors beats paper, so you beat the computer. Alright, that has been coding rock, paper, scissors in C++. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something new.